Death floats on the high seas. A Raven Darkblade mystery. Chapter 2. The 5 Categories of Maritime Madness. The starboard lounge looked like what would happen if a crime scene had a baby with a cruise ship's talent show. And that baby was raised by wolves who didn't understand interior decorating. Detective Raven Darkblade had commandeered the space, which still smelled like last night's karaoke contest and broken dreams. "Listen up, potential murderers," Raven announced, standing on a chair that wasn't quite tall enough to be dramatic but too tall to be practical. "I'm about to revolutionize criminal investigation with my patented suspicion, categorization, system, trademark." "Is that actually patented?" asked someone from the crowd. "No," Raven admitted proudly. "But it should be. Now, when I call your category, sit in your designated area. And remember, this is for justice." The passengers began shuffling around like a really depressing game of musical chairs, where the music was probably someone getting murdered. Category 1. Suspicious. In the most suspicious corner sat a collection of individuals who looked like they'd been cast in a community theater production of Guilty, the musical. First was Madeline Kofsalot. Apparently everyone on this ship had prophetic last names, who claimed to be Captain Tremendulous's business rival in the competitive world of captain education. She wore a captain's hat that was clearly from a Halloween store and kept muttering, "I should have been the one teaching that seminar," under her breath, but loudly. Next to her sat Bruno the Belly Flopinski, reigning champion of the ship's belly flop competition for 17 years running, or rather, jumping. His stomach preceded him into rooms by a full 3 seconds. "Captain Tremendulous gave me a 6 out of 10 on my signature flop yesterday," Bruno grumbled, his belly undulating with remembered trauma. "A 6. My tsunami of flesh has never scored below an 8. "That seems like a weak motive for murder," Raven observed. "You've never competed in professional belly flopping," Bruno said darkly. "It changes a man, makes him do things, terrible things, like use the pool after eating." The third suspicious character was a woman who introduced herself as Victoria Secret Keeper. "And yes, that's my real name, stop asking." She clutched a notebook labeled "Everyone's Secrets" in glitter pen. "I know things," she said mysteriously. "Dark things. Cruise ship things. Did you know Captain Tremendulous wasn't even a real captain?" "We all knew that," said everyone simultaneously. Category 2. Slightly suspicious. The slightly suspicious section was filling up with people who looked guilty of something, but probably not murder. More like sneaking extra shrimp from the buffet or lying about their age for the senior discount. There was Reginald Chestwigs, whose chest hair formed what appeared to be a topographical map of the Mediterranean. He was nervously combing it with a tiny golden comb. "I only hated Captain Tremendulous, a medium amount," Reginald explained. "He said my chest hair wasn't nautical enough for the hairy chest contest." "What does that even mean?" Beside him sat the trivia power couple, Ken and Karen Know-It-All, who finished each other's sentences in a way that was either romantic or deeply disturbing. "We were at trivia," Ken started. "From 5 a.m., Karen continued. "To 7 a.m., Ken added. "In the aft lounge," Karen elaborated. "Which is at the back of the ship," Ken explained. "Aft means back," Karen clarified. We get it, everyone shouted. Category 3. Perhaps suspicious. The perhaps suspicious group was the largest, filled with people who seemed too eager to help or were being weird in non-specific ways. I want to help solve this murder, announced Bethany Helps Too Much, bouncing on her toes like an over-caffeinated kangaroo. I've seen every episode of CSI Miami and CSI New York and CSI Boise. That last one was only on local cable. She was holding a magnifying glass, a fingerprint kit, and what appeared to be a Ouija board, just in case. Next to her, a man in a full tuxedo at 9 a.m. introduced himself as James, and before you ask, yes, my parents hated me. He was taking notes on everything anyone said, but his pen had no ink. I'm documenting this for my cruise vlog, he explained, holding up a camera that wasn't turned on. My followers need to know about the murder. All 6 of them. Well, 5. My mom unfollowed me. Category 4. Mildly suspicious. The mildly suspicious section was full of people who were suspicious precisely because they seemed so unsuspicious, which made Raven suspicious, which made them suspicious of his suspicion. I'm just Bob, said a man who was aggressively normal. I like normal things, like bread and walking forward with my human legs. That's exactly what a murderer would say, Raven noted. But I'm not a murderer, Bob protested. Which is also what a murderer would say, Raven countered brilliantly. Bob looked confused. So what should I say? I don't know, that's what makes you mildly suspicious. Category 5. Not suspicious. The not suspicious section had exactly 3 people, all of whom had such airtight alibis that they'd actually created a vacuum. I was in the medical center all night, said Dr. Stethoscope, still wearing her formal bikini. Food poisoning. The shrimp's revenge. I have 17 witnesses and a very embarrassing security footage. I was leading the 5 a.m. yoga class, added Moonbeam Sunrise. Legal name. She had the documents. 40 people can confirm I was there, teaching them to become one with their inner dolphin. The 3rd person was a small child who couldn't have been more than 8. I was sleeping, she said, because I'm 8. What's your name? Raven asked. Susie Murderface. Everyone stared. It's a family name, she shrugged. Just then, Captain Fitzy's voice crackled over the intercom. Good morning, cruisers. Update on our whale situation. The whales have started swimming faster, so we're speeding up too. We're now doing circles at 25 knots. Some of you may experience dizziness, nausea, or the ability to see through time. Great, Raven muttered. A murder investigation on a ship doing donuts in the ocean. Detective! A new voice rang out. A woman burst into the lounge. Her crew's formal wear disheveled, her name tag reading Penelope Plotwist, cruise director. What is it? Raven asked, though he had a sinking feeling, which might have just been the ship's new circular motion. There's been another death. The room gasped in unison, except for Bob, who gasped slightly out of sync because he was aggressively normal. Who? Raven demanded. The ship's navigation officer, Derek Downloads, the one who deleted the GPS. But that means... Raven's mind raced like a hamster on a wheel, which was fitting given their current nautical situation. The killer is eliminating everyone who knows why we can't return to port. Madeline Cough-Salot shrieked triumphantly. Classic murder mystery trope. Don't explain the plot, Raven snapped. That's my job. Now everyone stay here while I investigate this new body, and nobody murder anyone while I'm gone. Can we get snacks? Asked Bruno the Belly. Fine, but only from the vending machine, and pay for them. This is still a crime scene, not a free-for-all. As Raven rushed out, followed by Penelope Plotwist, whose name was becoming more ominous by the minute, he couldn't help but notice something odd. In the not suspicious section, little Susie Murderface was smiling, and not in a cute 8-year-old way. More in a, I know something you don't know, and it's definitely murder-related way. But that was impossible. She was in the not suspicious category. The system was flawless, foolproof. Definitely not the rambling of a detective who'd had too much cruise ship coffee and not enough sleep. Right? To be continued in circles. Author's note: this chapter is dedicated to everyone who's ever been wrongly categorized. Except for people who stand too close in elevators. You know what category you belong in. Also to my neighbor's cat, Mr. Whiskers, who judges me through the window while I write. His suspicion level, maximum.